Have you ever had this happen?
Hmm.
You start your manifestation journey, things are like going great.
Hmm.
Maybe you attract some extra money or, that job you were really hoping for.
Yeah.
And then it just stops.
Yeah. Or even goes backwards sometimes.
Exactly. Or worse. Yeah, it feels like
And
everything's suddenly kind of falling apart.
Right.
And if you found yourself wondering, okay, why did my manifestation stop working after that initial success? Like what happened to all that momentum? Well, you're definitely not alone there.
No, not at all. It's a really common feeling.
It's so confusing and honestly pretty disheartening for a lot of us on this path.
That confusion is completely understandable, and it often points to something deeper, a crucial aspect of how manifestation really operates,
Okay.
What we're really talking about here are those subtle, often invisible energy blocks that can sort of creep in.
Energy blocks, okay.
Yeah, and they aren't some external force punishing you. That's not it at all. They're typically internal alignments, things inside you that need to shift for your deepest desires to fully actualize and, importantly, to last.
Gotcha. So in this discussion today, we're really going to try and peel back the layers on this whole frustrating plateau thing.
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll explore, why these moments happen, what those energy blocks truly are, and crucially, how you can spot them and remove them.
Right, so you can get back on track.
Exactly. Move beyond just those initial wins into sustained real creation in your life. We'll dig into how shifting your perspective, understanding your own power, can just completely transform your journey.
Mm-hmm. Whether you're aiming for that new career, financial abundance, maybe a fulfilling relationship, this applies across the board.
Yeah.
And what's truly fascinating, I think, is that these moments, when things seem to halt or even worsen, they're often precisely when you're right on the cusp of something much, much bigger.
Really? So it's not necessarily a bad sign.
Not at all. If you understand it, it's actually a critical phase. Maybe even an exciting one once you see it clearly. We're here to help you navigate it with, more confidence.
Okay, great. So if you're looking for that clarity and you want to really understand how to keep your momentum going, you are absolutely in the right place.
Definitely.
And hey, while you're listening, if you find this discussion helpful, maybe take just a second to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel too.
Yeah, that really helps us get these insights out to more people who might be feeling stuck.
It really does. Okay, so let's unpack this feeling. You've had some success. Maybe you were journaling every day, affirming constantly.
Doing all the techniques, right?
Exactly. Like someone we heard from, Sarah. She used these techniques, manifested great marks on her board exams, which was huge for her.
Wow, okay.
Convinced her really strict parents to let her go on this special trip she wanted, and even managed to find a place to stay right when she was told she had to leave her temporary housing. Like boom, boom, boom.
So, real tangible results.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
But then, after all that momentum, it just felt like the universe kind of slammed the door shut.
Right. And that raises the big question, doesn't it? If you're doing all the right things, why does progress just grind to a halt or even seem to go in reverse?
Yeah, what gives?
Well, one really common challenge is our attachment. We get attached to a very specific way things are supposed to unfold.
Ah, the how.
Exactly, the how. We focus only on the known paths, the ways we already understand to get what we desire. And, as many wise teachers point out, if you only focus on the known, well, you tend to get more of the known.
Okay.
Our brains, they're amazing, but they try to simplify things, right? So they make assumptions based on our current, often limited perspective. You could call it like tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision, I like that.
And this unconscious reliance on what we think we know leads to these hidden beliefs and attachments that, without us realizing, really shape our decisions and block bigger possibilities.
Can you give an example?
Sure, say you want more money, but your internal tunnel vision only lets you see opportunities that feel, uncomfortable, or maybe involve selling stuff you're attached to. You might be unconsciously shutting down other, maybe easier avenues for abundance just because they're outside that tunnel.
Wow. Okay, so it's not just about what we want, but how rigidly we expect to get it. That sounds like a massive self-imposed energy block right there.
It really can be.
But what about when things actually seem to get worse? That feels different. It can be incredibly disheartening.
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing about a student super dedicated, studying intensely, doing all the manifestation work for a college exam, and just repeatedly failing.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, started having anxiety attacks, totally lost faith in the process, just thinking, why me? What am I doing wrong? It feels like punishment then.
You've hit on something really crucial there. When you set a big intention, a new career, a financial breakthrough, that soulmate relationship, and suddenly your current reality starts to shake or crumble, it can be deeply confusing. Maybe old friends fall away, there's friction with family, maybe you lose the job you have now, or face unexpected money troubles.
Right. Seems like the opposite of what you asked for.
Exactly. But listen, this isn't the universe punishing you. It's often a vital, albeit really uncomfortable part of the process.
How so?
Well, think about it. The version of you who has that amazing new career or financial freedom or deep love, that version is fundamentally different from your current self, right?
Okay, yeah. Different vibration, different beliefs maybe.
Precisely. So things in your current reality that don't align with that future version, they kind of have to fall away to make space. It's a clearing out, even if it feels like a breakdown.
Okay, that's a different way to look at it. And here's something I've heard too that gets really interesting. The idea that if you're trying to manifest something, but your main feeling, your inner talk, is all about the lack of it.
Constantly focusing on what's missing.
Yeah, like constantly saying, I don't have a job, I really need a job, please give me one. The idea is you're actually attracting more not having a job.
That hits the nail on the head.
It's like we get stuck in this loop, right? Creating the very reality we're trying to escape just by how we're looking at it, how we're feeling about it.
Exactly. And this highlights the absolute critical point. Where are you placing your power?
What do you mean?
You aren't just part of the universe. You are the creative force itself. You are source energy. You create everything in your experience with your beliefs, your perceptions, the meaning you assign to things.
Okay, wow. That's a big concept.
It is. But if you're constantly giving your power away to external things, maybe it's the economy, politicians, what other people think, or even just the circumstances out there, you're unknowingly creating a reality where those external things seem to dictate your experience instead of your own internal knowing, your own creative power. And that is a massive energy block. Believing something outside of yourself has power over you.
So we're blocking ourselves by looking outward for power or permission.
In essence, yes. Many deep-seated beliefs, the ones that cause these blocks, operate from what we could call that limited perspective or tunnel vision view of reality.
The inside your skull view, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's where we make decisions based only on what our brain can immediately process, what we already know or assume to be true. And this limited view keeps us largely unaware of the subtle assumptions, the underlying beliefs that are really running the show and blocking our greater potential.
So it's our own unconscious stuff tripping us up. That makes me think of that story about the writer. She was trying to manifest getting an article published. Her initial plan, totally logical from her known path, was to travel somewhere specific to get photos for it. Made perfect sense.
Right, the practical steps.
But then, bam, a global pandemic hits. Travel is impossible. That known path, completely blocked.
Okay, so her plan A was out.
Totally out. And she almost just gave up on the whole idea.
Yeah.
Scrapped the article.
Ugh. And that's the key moment, isn't it? That attachment to how it must happen. That's a huge block.
Yeah.
This whole idea that we need to wait for some magical sign or for a perfect red carpet to appear before we can move forward, that's a big misconception.
So what happened with the writer?
Well, in her story, it was only when she was faced with an immediate, totally unexpected opportunity related to the article, even though her original photo plan was impossible, that she was forced to shift her perspective.
She had to let go.
She had to let go of how she thought it had to work out and just do what was actually possible in that moment. And that shift, that letting go, allowed her to write the article, but from a totally different place, from the perspective of being the great teacher she wanted to embody. The version of herself who already had the outcome.
Okay. So the shift isn't just hoping. It's moving from passively waiting for something to happen to us to actively becoming the version of ourselves who already has the thing we desire.
You got it.
That really resonates with, Neville Goddard's teachings, right?
Yeah.
Manifesting the version of yourself who naturally experiences those things.
Absolutely. He was brilliant on that.
And that applies to anything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Attracting success, more money, that fulfilling job. You become the person for whom that is normal.
Yes, exactly. And this connects so deeply to what's happening energetically. See, your desired outcome, more money, love, freedom, whatever it is, it vibrates at a higher frequency. Think emotions like joy, love, peace. abundance.
Okay, the good stuff.
Right. But if you're currently mostly tuned into lower frequencies like lack, limitation, fear, anger, anxiety.
Where many of us are, let's be honest.
Right. Well, the fundamental law of the universe dictates that you'll attract more experiences matching that lower frequency. So the universe, in its, let's say, wisdom, it will often kind of squeeze you or push you. It does this by creating experiences that mirror back those internal low-frequency beliefs you're holding on to.
So the bad stuff gets louder.
It can feel that way. It forces you to actually confront them, feel them, and hopefully release them. And that often feels like things are getting worse, but it's actually a crucial energetic clearing, making space.
Wow, okay. That's a powerful way to frame it. So the universe is actually helping us remove those internal energy blocks, even when it feels super uncomfortable.
That's the higher perspective, yes.
It's almost like a refining fire, burning away the dross, the stuff that no longer serves the person we're becoming.
That's a beautiful analogy. It truly is. And this ties right into the law of polarity, too.
Polarity, like opposites.
Exactly. For every low, there's a corresponding high potential. Think about it. How many incredibly successful people have stories of hitting extreme lows first?
Oh yeah, bankruptcy, homelessness. You hear those stories all the time.
Right. And those lows often served as the absolute rock bottom that then propelled them into their greatest achievements. There's a saying, don't rob someone of their rock bottom.
Why not?
Because those moments of intense difficulty, that real discomfort, they often plant the most powerful seeds for future success. It's about harnessing that burning desire to get out of the discomfort, transforming it into an unstoppable drive.
Okay, so these tough times, these seeming setbacks, they're not a sign that manifestation isn't working. They could actually be a signal that huge shifts are underway, that the path is being cleared.
Precisely. It's the universe basically saying, okay, let's really remove these energy blocks now to make space for what you truly desire.
That reframes everything.
Yeah.
And if you watching or listening or finding this explanation helpful, maybe drop a comment below. We'd love to hear about your own experiences with these kinds of energetic shifts.
Yeah, sharing experiences really helps everyone. So the solution then, how do we actually remove these blocks consciously? It really starts with engaging your inherent power.
Okay.
The very first, most crucial step to removing these energy blocks is to fully realize, to know that you are the source. You are the creator of your entire reality.
Not just a participant, but the source.
Yes. Stop giving your power away to external circumstances. Stop holding on to these limiting self-concepts you think you need to somehow obtain or fix. You are already perfect, whole, and abundant right now because your fundamental nature is source.
Okay, that's liberating, but also feels like a big leap for someone maybe losing their job or struggling financially.
It is a leap in perspective, absolutely. But see, it's not about trying to make things happen out there. It's about recognizing that the potential, the fulfillment, it's already done within you. You just need to align with it.
So it's a total internal revolution then. But okay, practically, for someone grappling with a real setback, where do they even start? How do you cultivate that internal knowing?
Well, practices like meditation are incredibly powerful here, and not just for relaxation.
Right.
Meditation helps you deliberately shift away from just your immediate physical worldview, your tunnel vision, and enter what people call the quantum field, or just a space of pure potential, an altered state of consciousness.
Okay, getting beyond the day-to-day noise.
Exactly. From this more detached bird's eye view, you suddenly become aware of your previously limited perspective. You can actually look at your underlying beliefs and assumptions, those hidden energy blocks, almost objectively.
And see if they're actually true or helpful.
Precisely. You can ask, is this belief serving me? Or is it holding me back? And if you can learn to stay in that quiet space, that blackness of the unknown, as some call it, even for short periods, you actually train your mind to become comfortable with creating the unknown new possibilities in your life.
So it's about shifting attention, shifting energy from that known, limited, maybe problem-focused view to an expansive, limitless view of pure potential. Wow, that feels incredibly empowering, especially if you're trying to attract success or more money or land that dream job.
It is, because when you become aware of those old assumptions, you can question them, you can consciously shift them, and suddenly what looked like a dead end just opens up. It becomes an open road towards what you desire.
It's like the path was there all along, just hidden by our own limited view.
Yeah, you got it. And this also means sometimes cultivating what might look like an almost delusional belief in your outcome.
Delusional? Like ignoring reality.
Not ignoring it, but holding a conviction despite current reality, an unshakable certainty. Think about that listener, Emily, who manifested her specific person, her boyfriend, even though he was actually with someone else at the time.
How'd she do that?
She just consistently fed her own mind, her own inner world, with the absolute certainty that he was hers, that they would be together, that they would get married. It was about unwavering conviction, not about looking at the practical obstacles, because doubt is the biggest block of all.
Wow. Cultivating unshakable certainty.
Yeah.
That is a bold mindset shift. It sounds like just total commitment to the desired reality, no matter what the outside world reflects back for a while.
It really is. And with that mindset, when things do appear to get worse, when those clearings happen, instead of despairing, you can actually start to get excited.
Excited when things are falling apart.
Yeah. Because you understand it differently now. You see it as the universe pushing you, maybe because you weren't initiating the release yourself. It's an exciting sign that your desires are so powerful, they're literally clearing their own path.
Okay, that requires real trust.
It does. We even heard about a business owner who, when faced with a flood of customer complaints, literally popped a bottle of champagne to celebrate the clearing.
No way. What happened?
A week later, secured a massive $3 million grant that solved everything and took the business to a whole new level.
Wow. That's the law of polarity in action, right? That dip before the huge upswing.
Exactly. The bigger the perceived dip, often the bigger the potential upswing if you hold the faith.
What's also fascinating here is that even really intense emotional responses to these setbacks, like feeling angry or bursting into tears, it doesn't mean you're failing either, does it?
Not at all. In fact, those emotions can be a crucial part of the healing process.
So it's okay to feel them.
Absolutely. When those emotions bubble up, anger, sadness, frustration, let them out. Cry, punch a pillow, journal about it, express it somehow, but then learn from it.
Learn how.
Ask yourself, okay, why am I attracting this experience? What's going on within me that this situation is being mirrored back to me right now? Once you acknowledge it, release the emotional charge, and learn the underlying lesson or belief that needed shifting, it often stops showing up.
So it's about shifting the internal vibration.
Exactly. Shifting your core frequency to, I am valuable, I am worthy, I'm inherently abundant. That's how you truly dissolve those internal resistances, those energy blocks, and tune into the frequency of what you actually desire. It's all part of your, you could say, soul's adventure, your training for the greatness you're stepping into.
Okay, so we've really journeyed here, haven't we? From that initial frustration of, why did my manifestations just stop working after that first success?
That common sticking point, to understanding that these moments, these plateaus, or even downturns are often really powerful signals. Signals that deep-seated energy blocks are actually being removed.
Right. Clearing the way.
Preparing you for even greater outcomes than you might have initially imagined. It's all about shifting from that limited, sometimes problem-focused view.
The tunnel vision.
Yeah, the tunnel vision. To one of infinite possibility. Embracing whatever unfolds as part of the path and really recognizing your true inherent power as the source, as the creator.
Beautifully put. You are the creator of your reality. Your desires aren't out there somewhere to be chased. They are potentials existing right now within you.
Wow.
The real secret, if there is one, to consistent, powerful manifestation is to fully internalize this truth, to persist in recognizing yourself as the fulfilled, perfect, abundant being you already are underneath any temporary circumstance. Stop giving your power away.
Yeah.
When you truly embody this knowing, your life can shift, and often really rapidly, sometimes in ways you couldn't have even conceived of from your old perspective. Okay, so here's maybe a provocative thought to leave everyone with. What unexpected, truly incredible opportunities might be just waiting to unfold in your life right now? If you were to fully step into and embrace your role as source, if you adopted that bird's eye view, looked beyond the current problems, and truly started walking in the light of your own innate abundance, knowing deep down that any perceived block is actually just a stepping stone on your path.
That's the invitation, isn't it? Remember, everything truly does happen for a reason, a higher reason connected to your growth. And you absolutely have the power within you to manifest anything you desire by believing in and acting from that higher power within.
That's incredibly empowering. We really hope this discussion has brought you some profound clarity, maybe some renewed confidence on your manifestation journey.
We hope so too.
If you found this valuable, please do give this video a like and definitely subscribe to our channel for more insights like this.
And don't forget to leave a comment. What was your biggest takeaway? Do you have any questions?
Yeah, we genuinely love hearing from you and reading your perspectives. Thanks so much for tuning in.